I want to finish this practice quiz that you took yesterday, get the solutions for that. There's one or two we missed yesterday. So this is for this is where sixth period class left off. So we're going to write the polynomial that has these roots. It has 1, 2, 3. That's two roots, 1 plus I to the square root of 3, 1 minus I to the square root of 3, and negative 2. So it has three roots. So we'll be writing a cubic polynomial. Now, we have a formula for writing a quadratic polynomial. It's right here in your notes, okay? We've used it. Find the sum of the roots, find the product of the roots, and put them where they go. So if we take two of these roots, I'll choose these two, the conjugates, and write a quadratic, and then multiply it by this linear. If negative 2 is the root, then x plus 2 is a factor. So I'll write a quadratic, then multiply it by the linear binomial. Sound good? If I have the sum of those two roots, one of them is 1 plus I times the square root of 3. Sum means add. Add that to 1 minus I times the square root of 3. And we add two complex numbers. We add the real part, 1 plus 1, that's 2. And we add the complex part. I to the square root of 3 plus a negative I squared root of 3 would be 0 I square root of 3. The sum is just 2. The product, by multiplying those two binomials, once again, they are conjugates, so we don't have to use a full FOIL. FL will do it because the O and the I will cancel each other. The outer and the inner are just going to be opposites of each other, so we combine like terms and get 0. So the first times the first is 1. That's that product. And then last times the last is this product. It's a positive times a negative, so it's minus I times I is I squared. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Okay. So what is 1 minus I squared times 3? This I squared times 3, well, I squared is negative 1, so that's negative 3. 1 minus negative 3 is 4. So the product is 4. We can write the quadratic that has those two roots by writing x squared minus the sum, which was 2x, plus the product, plus 4. Right? That's the quadratic. But again, we're going to take this third root, okay, and write its factor, x plus 2, and go ahead and multiply these. I'm going to distribute the x 1, 2, 3 times. That'll be x to the third minus 2x squared plus 4x. And I'm going to distribute this 2, 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, 2 times x squared is positive 2x squared. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4x. And 2 times 4 is positive 8. Add those two, combine like terms, while I line them all up, and I get x cubed. The squared terms go away. The linear terms cancel each other. And I just have plus 8. X cubed plus 8 would be our final answer on that. I have this bonus problem on there. I'll go walk you through this. The polynomial in standard form that has roots plus or minus 3i and 2 plus or minus 5i will be a quartic. There are 4 roots, okay? So we're going to write a quartic. We can get a quadratic using the same technique we just did from those two. We can get a quadratic from those two by finding the sum and difference. So let's do that. First one, find the sum of 3i plus negative 3i. The sum is 0. The product is 3i times negative 3i. That would be negative 9i squared. Negative 9i squared is positive 9. So the quadratic that would come from those two roots would be x squared minus the sum, minus 0, so I'm not going to write anything, plus the product, plus 9. There. It's a binomial, quadratic binomial. Now we'll come up here and do the same thing with these two. These other two roots, their sum, 2 plus 5i plus 2 minus 5i. Again, we add real part, that's 4. Add imaginary part, that's 0. So the sum is 4. Find the product of 2 plus 5i and 2 minus 5i. Again, we don't need a full FOIL. F, L will do it. Okay. First times first is 4. Outer and inner, might be a negative 10i and a positive 10i. They go away. But last times last is negative 25i squared. That's plus 25. 4 plus 25 is 29. So that's our product. The quadratic would be x squared minus 4x plus 29. We still had the first one. And the last thing we'll do is multiply those two quadratics to get our quartic. All right, just like I do, I'll take a colored pencil and distribute the x squared 3 times. It's going to be x to the 4th minus 4x cubed plus 29x squared. Then I'm going to distribute this 9, 1, 2, 3 times. That's 9x squared minus 36x. 9 times 29, 61. So if I add them up, I'll have my polynomial. I got x to the 4th minus 4x cubed plus 38x squared minus 36x plus 261. That would be the polynomial in standard form that had these two roots. All right. Hope I get this quiz to you tomorrow. If not, I'll try to get a sub to get it to you. Stay studying. Email me if you have any questions.